3-0 win and through in the FA Cup, but that wasn't always comfortable, was it, again?
Well, I mean, I love the way you lads wrote about it on Saturday, when you actually, your first lines were, we were flat, and then the whole of all of your report was about how many chances we had. In this game, they were better in the first half on their home pitch, doing what they do well. They used their own environment very, very well. We'll not be under as much pressure of that very often this season in the first half, so all credit to them. Again, we've done what we come here to do. I'm delighted. It's double digits now that we're unbeaten at the start of the season, which is now officially a very good start. And we can look forward to the next round of the FA Cup, but not before we have another monster trek up to Curzon and Ashton on Saturday. So I'm delighted, but credit to them. But I've got to say, look, Mac has been out almost a year. He's come back and he's competed. I think Adam and Josh have done their bit to repel the bombardment that we faced in the first half, and we haven't conceded a goal. So over the two games, we thoroughly deserve to go through.
I mean, whatever people say or think, the aim is to be through in the next round, and you're there.
Yeah, I mean, I've not won many games 3-0 and then felt I was lucky to do that. So I don't think we were lucky. And at the end of the day, we saw off their threat. And in fairness to them, it was a good threat. They put balls in my box, they got cassette play, they got free kicks by hook or by crook, and they put it in my box. But we're goalie and we're defenders. Well, everybody's a defender when the ball comes in our box. And we work so hard on a day before a match to defend our box. There are no passing on, there's no marking spaces in my team. It's marking men, and that means my men stop their men from scoring at set play, which looked at me like their best way of scoring.
I mean, everybody's had to put a shift in tonight, haven't they? It hasn't been a gimme, has it?
Absolutely not. At the end of the day, look, they wanted the same thing as we did. I told my lads, if any but one of them was thinking about the next round of the FA Cup before this game, they shouldn't be in the dressing room, because that's down the road as far as I'm concerned. This was all about getting through tonight. This was the FA Cup match that we had in front of us. The good thing from my point of view is my players had then seen what they were coming up against. I knew they weren't going to be that much different, because they couldn't be, they haven't got the numbers. So they didn't know we were going to be different. So, like I said, it's a squad game. A lot of the lads in there, a couple who didn't play on Saturday, who come back into the side. But I hope that my squad lads are starting to think, actually, he's telling me the truth, because I've told them they'll all play a part. It's a squad game. Skip's been ill, particularly poorly, so hasn't travelled. Somebody else has gone in and done a job. Brilliant. I've got a great headache now.
I know you don't like picking out individuals.
So don't ask me then.
But Cameron Hargreaves, absolutely magnificent. I mean, do you think that showed how much you missed him on Saturday? Just that little bit of...
like I said, I mean, I think you guys took it to the point, because we didn't win on Saturday and they are Bedford Town, you took it that we were poor. We weren't. We had umpteen chances to win the game on Saturday, but we didn't win. Now, when we did that against Leamington, we had more chances against Leamington than we did against Bedford Town, but we should have won that game. But for me, like I said, we've got to look at the positives, the lads who run the team, because sure as eggs is eggs, the lads would have read your reports and gone, actually, we didn't do that bad. And when they look back at their own clips, they'll realise we should have won the game on Saturday. It's a fact, we should have. But then it went a similar way today. The second half, they can't argue that we've dominated the ball, we've dominated the chances. First half, they had a right good go. And hats off to Gary and his staff for the way they prepared for the both games. If they put that out every week for Gaz, he won't be far away from coming up out of that division.
And Saturday now, you've got the small matter of a trip up north. In fact, you've got a busy few days travelling.
yeah. Well, listen, it's the job. It's what we do. We're not going to. I'll never use that as an excuse. But it's not ideal having to travel today, travel Saturday, travel again Tuesday. Although it's not massive distances, the two either side. It's part of the game. I've been doing it for 36 years. I don't mind it.
I know you're happy that you've got a home tie in the next round again.
It's all you want, really. You want a team. Sorry, you want a home tie if possible, and you want the lowest team in the competition if possible. Well, we didn't get the second bit, but we got a home tie. Obviously, there's a bit of local interest, I'm sure, and when I say local, that's because we got Curzon and Blythe and everybody else in our division. But it's fairly local, so hopefully Kettering will bring a few, and it's another FA Cup day that we hadn't planned for, so it's good.
Gary, it's not very often in football you can say you're unlucky after 3-0 defeat.
No, and the first goal was key for us tonight. When we've come out, that would have been easy for a lower league team to try and sit men behind the ball. But we felt that we had players who could hurt them, and they've got three really good centre halves, didn't they? They put the body on the line, they defend the box really well, and we've made a couple of real tiny mistakes, and obviously they've got players who punish them, and that's what's happened. The first one's fell at goal. He got a little mistake from Charlie, who I thought was excellent tonight, and he's tucked it away. And then we give a silly free kick away just before half-time and gone in 2-0 down, which was really a sucker punch. But, you know, we could have come out second half and folded and died. And, you know, it weren't too long ago we got beat 8-1 here. But we've turned the corner since then, and you know I think the boys really showed tonight, because that could have easily gone 3-4-5, so on and so on, as we got tighter and tighter. But the boys dug in, and we had a moment second half as well, even at 2-0, and you thought if we could have got one, if shoulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda, and all that. But Kings didn't defend really well. They got a lot of Crowther, Coulson, McFadden. They get a lot of blocks in. They defended the box. I think they must have defended 12, 13, 14 corners tonight, and I thought they was excellent.
I mean, there was a point at 2-0 when Connor's gone through,
Yeah.
and Crowther's put that tackle in.
Great tackle.
If he'd have got that, if that'd been 2-1, different.
Yeah.
Different
I think
game.
goals change games, and I think that was a classic case of goals changing games. I think at 0-0 I thought we was the better side, and then Kings didn't score, and then they have a little spell for 10 minutes. I think then we get on top again just before half time, and then Kings didn't score. But even when, you know, at 2-0 I thought we'd come out and, you know, we still didn't stick men behind the ball. We tried to have a go, we tried the best. That's probably as well as we've played first half. We went in 2-0 down, but, you know, that's the level you're at. I think Kings in a really good side, very, very strong defensively. You know, they've got good boys in midfield, and obviously they've got a perfect pair up front in Gold and Pozzatelli.
I mean, it wasn't until the third goal went in where you perhaps started showing a little bit of signs of tiredness, but
Yeah.
after all that effort, you know.
I think Saturday, I mean, our data was through the roof Saturday, which it needed to be to go to the walks and get a draw. And obviously the boys have been at work today, and then they've come here tonight, and, you know, they've given me, I ain't seen the data, but no doubt they've given me an unbelievable shift again. So I can't ask for no more, but the lads have set the standard now for us, and if we play like that with that intensity against step 3 teams, we'll win a lot more games than we lose.
I mean, Tommy's come out and said Lynn won't have as many hard games as that in the National League North. You've got to take a lot of credit for that, haven't you?
Yeah, we will take a lot from it, but at the end of the day, we've lost 3-0, and that's the mistakes, and we've done that to ourselves. We are a really young group. I think Saturday we had 6 or 7 under 23s in the team. I think tonight the same, and if we can just cut out the mistakes that kill you, then we'll be fine, and we will. You know, we've brought in one or two players over the last couple of weeks, which has made a big difference to us. And we've just got to keep going. Like I say, I'll always look at Kingston results. Tommy's a great bloke. I've only met him really over the last 4 days, but you know, he's a proper football man. He knows what he's doing. He's been in the game all his life, and I think Kingston have got a real good manager. Hopefully, to take him back into the National League.
Is there any chance you might be able to strike up a loan deal for 1 or 2 players? Or?
Hopefully, mate. We have been talking about it. You know, I've got his number and I'll give him a ring. But you know, Lynn ain't got a massive squad, to be fair to him, have they? You know, you look at the bench tonight. They've got a real good 14, 15, and they've got 1 or 2 good youngsters. But they ain't got like a squad of 20 and 24 like some of the teams have. So, you know, I'm sure he'll be looking to bring 1 or 2 in. And then hopefully that might push 1 or 2 to our way, maybe. But you know, I'd like to strike up a relationship, Kings. In that'd have been impossible under the other managers. So, you know, hopefully we can with this one.
Just from a personal point of view, you must just be gutted, because obviously you'd have had Kettering next round.
Yeah,
as
well. I'd have fancied us to beat Kettering now. I don't want, but I'd have fancied us to beat him down here, or at least give him a good game. We've given Kingston a good game over 2 games. So, if you look at the league table, I'm pretty sure we could have probably give Kettering a good game. But you know, that'd be an interest. I think Kingston will beat him at the walks, and then obviously they're 1 game away from, you know, a big one in the first round proper.
And you've been there yourself with Lynn, haven't you? Taken them to the full qualifying round twice.
Yeah, twice. Tamworth lost, and I think AFC filed as well. So yeah, but I think we went 1-0 up against Tamworth and filed, to be fair. So we were step 5 then, I think, as well, with Jamie Thirlborn scored. But yeah, you know, like I said, just the people of Kingston have got to come and watch this team, haven't they? You know, the top of the Conference North, you know, and we've all lived in the town. That's normally they'd be getting 1,800, 2,000 at this time of year if they're top of the league. So, you know, come and watch them. They're a good team. They score plenty of goals. They defend really well. They concede. They make edge of the seat stuff for the fans. And I think they should get behind Tommy and the boys and get down there and watch them. And because the walks is a tough place to go to. If you get 2,000 in there and Kings didn't get going. That's a hard place to play. That really is.